I'm going to talk today about bone disease and the tragedy of seniors that don't get the proper kind of information and medical help. And diet and medication are only a part of controlling bone disease. Exercise is the number one major information that they don't get. I was really blessed. Although I started to cripple at the age of 6, I'm going to talk about something that I saw today at Walmart. I was in pain in bed for 2 days, but I managed to, despite nausea, to get out to get shampoo. I'd only do my hair a couple of times a year because of my allergies. But anyway, I saw this woman about my age, and I'm going to be 83 in September. And her bone disease had her bent from the waist like that, literally. And I'm going to post a little picture of it. And she lifted her head like that. And when I had Dan do a picture of me in that condition, I found lifting, I guess after a while your neck would get used to it. But oh, I found it very painful. And she was so unable to lift her back at any level. Imagine, it was completely like that, that she couldn't use the grocery cart. She had to use her walker, which was adjusted down, and she was bent over, and she had 5 bags of groceries. And I was horrified by her condition. All alone, she was around my age, and my heart just bled for her. And the staff didn't offer to help her either. So I turned to this guy standing behind me because Dan was busy with the cashier. And I said, that could be me. I'm 83 in September. That could be me. And he said, oh, you're lucky because you're healthy. And I said, no, I'm not. I've had brain damage since childhood, crippling, Parkinsonism, autoimmune disorders, and allergies up the yin-yang that I have to wear this gas mask outside so that I can breathe. And it's unbelievable, my condition. So he said, well, how did you stay in such good health? And I replied, well, I said, although diet and proper medication and etc., that's all very important, but it only plays a small role. Frankly, it's the exercise. I crippled very young, but I had a boy that understood that exercise, and he got me out, and I skated and I danced and I climbed hills, and I swam, and I cross-country ski, and I cross-country ski still, although I didn't have much this winter. But I'm just saying that no matter how much pain I'm in, you have to get out of bed and you have to keep moving. Exercise is what kept both me and my mother out of a wheelchair. I mean, she had a bone disease that was genetic. She would have been in a wheelchair, but I knew what to do because I've been doing it all my life. And he said, but look at you, you're in perfect condition. I said, no, I'm not. I'm really not. This gas mask and everything. No. I said, but, and look at her, all alone. I mean, I have Dan to help me, and I have friends that will help me, but this woman is completely alone, and there's a taxi waiting for her, and there's nobody even helping her. This city, Sudbury, it's just so upsetting. It has no compassion. But I said, when I lived in Wasaga Beach and I saw seniors struggle, I used to stop my car and pick them up and drive them home. And then when I realized there were so many seniors that were all alone, they had a senior residence in Wasaga Beach. We don't have anything like that here. But it was strictly for seniors or handicapped, nobody else. And the building was designed for that, and we should have that, and every city and every village should have one, but we don't. well, don't even get me started on the Americans. They don't even believe in healthcare. But anyway, and so we kept chatting, and I said to him, I said, I just called the local manager of the store, and I suggested to him, they would be happy to pay for delivery if they could call in for their groceries. This building that I was in was full of people that had nobody, no family, nobody. So they said, we'd love to do that. And I said, okay, I'm going to call the newspaper and we're going to get an article. He'll interview you. He said, that'd be great. So make a long story short, the article hit the paper, and then all the villages, it kind of snowballed. All the villages, Collingwood, Wasaga Beach, Midland, Benedang, everybody, even the health food store in Barrie picked up on it, although they weren't going to deliver too many miles out of the city, but they would deliver to Barrie. So I'm just saying, yes, like when I lived in Chelmsford, the local store delivered to me. I was very ill, and I'm not the only one. They would do that. I'm not sure about Capriol, but I'll bet if somebody would ask them, they would. And when I was in St. Charles, Foodland the same, they would deliver. And the villages had that kind of compassion. But you don't find that here in Sudbury. It's just disgusting the way this city treats the handicapped and seniors. Disgusting. And I always helped people. I remember one time I was on the highway, and this was outside of Collingwood, and I saw a young man hitchhiking with a little girl. She couldn't have been more than 3 years old. And I stopped my car and I said, where are you going? And he said, Owen Sound. I said, oh my God, get in, I'll drive you. He said, you'll drive me? I said, absolutely. This is summer and the heat. She's going to get sick. This is no way. So along the way we chatted, and I found out that he was a single father. The mother had died in drug addiction, and the little girl, thank God, didn't have any appearance of brain damage. But he said he transferred to Owen Sound from Wasaga because he had family that would help him there with the child, and so he could get a job. And the social worker held back his transfer, so he had to hitchhike all the way to pick up the check. I said, no, not on my watch. Anyway, make a long story short, when I got back, I talked to all the people that were on social services. I talked to a schizophrenic. I talked to a native girl. And sure enough, this woman, she was a witch. She was playing these dirty games, holding back their checks at Christmas and different times. And it was awful. Make a long story short, I took a report to the manager in Barrie, and I got her fired. Person like that should not be working in social services. But you get some really evil people. But you can't just stand back and do nothing. That's not my style. But I'm just in no condition to do anything about this woman and what's happening in Sudbury. I spent 18 years fighting fraud, and the police wouldn't lift a finger. I have a retired policeman who tried to help me, went to the police chief. No, not Sudbury. No compassion. This city is disgusting. But when I lived in Collingwood and Wasaga Beach and the OPP and the RCMP and Barrie and everywhere, they all helped me with handicapped and abuse and children and you name it, and fraud. My brother took possession of my cottage, and the police helped throw him out, but they wouldn't do that here in Sudbury. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. But yes, seniors, I have on my website a complete dossier, a PDF file on Brown disease and the supplements and the various medications that you need, but you also need exercise. And if you can get to swings, that uses your whole body. I've been doing that forever. And I'm not saying everybody can cross-country ski, but cross-country is much better than downhill. It uses your whole body, and climbing hills and climbing stairs, and treadmill is not good enough. Walking is not good enough. You've got to use your whole body. But yes, you have to exercise. And dancing, of course, is really good because it triggers endorphins in the brain and adrenaline and all kinds of good stuff. and it'll reverse heart disease. But it definitely was proven. I had many specialists down in Collingwood, and they said, Trudy, with all the time that you're in bed, spring, summer, fall, when you get out and you ski, that's why your bones are in such good condition. And yes, I am so grateful. Yes, I have pain, but I am not in a wheelchair. And I'm just putting this out there, that communities, wherever you are, there's no reason to stick seniors in a nursing home. Many of them would like to stay in their own apartment and in independent living, but we don't have that in Sudbury. So something for the next generation to consider. I know nobody's going to pay attention to this video. I'm just going to stick it on my YouTube, and maybe someday countries will consider doing something like that. Because my great-grandmother stayed in her home, La Valley in Verner, and it's because the community all would support, and the groceries, if she needed any, it would be delivered to her. So yes, that's tragic what that woman is going through, all by herself. And shame on Walmart staff. Shame on you. Could have at least helped her out to the cab. Okay, well, anyway, I'm getting off track here. Well, bless her heart. I don't know who she is, but just saying a little prayer for her, that people in Sudbury get off your butts and try and help out the seniors and the handicapped. That's disgusting. It was so tragic to see. My heart just bleeds for her. Over and out. I'm just very quickly showing the condition of that woman with bone disease that obviously didn't have proper medical care, diet, or exercise, and had no help to carry her groceries. And we were about the same age. I'm 83 in September. And I have Dan to help me and other friends, of course. I'm so lucky.